Gentlemen, it doesn't happen all the time, but once in a while I'll get an email and it is so incredible that I feel like I should share it. The other day I got an email from one of our friends, Dorian, who actually has been watching my videos back when I had 3,000 subscribers. So he's been with me for a while. He sent me an email and he also sent me a picture and he showed me what he's done. But more than that, he showed me what is possible. And so without any further ado, I'd like to show you Dorian. In 1 year's time, Dorian went from 431 pounds to 279. 1 year, 12 months, the man has lost 152 pounds. He went from a 56-inch waist to a 42. This is incredible stuff. Did he have stomach surgery? Gastric bypass? Did he go on some crazy? Nope. He decided that he had enough and it was time to do something about it. And so I emailed Dorian. I go, Dorian, this is so incredible. I want to share it. I want to tell people about it just to show what is possible when you put your mind to something. And I said, do you have any problem with me sharing it? He said, absolutely not. And he actually wrote me an email that I wanted to read to you today. If you don't have time to hang out for story time, it's going to be listed down in the description as well. My one true goal is to get people to realize that extreme weight loss is possible without the need of drugs or surgery. It just requires you to educate yourself about it, dedicate yourself to it, and put in the hard work every day to see results. He goes on to say, and I'm going to paraphrase some of this, he always thought that as a big guy, in order for him to lose weight, he thought that he needed to have surgery or be lucky enough to be featured on one of the reality shows like The Biggest Loser. And I think he actually applied, but he didn't get on. And he said that he thinks that a lot of overweight people actually think about it that way. It's either this or this, and there's nothing else that can work. And he wants to say that there is hope, and I want people to know it. So now let's hear what Dorian did to actually lose 152 pounds in 12 months. He said, to lose weight, I started counting calories. I use and continue... It's probably easier if you read this yourself. He uses an app called MyFitnessPal to track what he eats. I told him, basically in a video, that to make small changes. So we started with what he ate. I introduced healthy foods and cut out soda, fruit juices, and fast food. I gave myself one cheat meal a week to stay sane, and that's what I did for a month. And that is so incredibly important. You can't do everything at once. So many times when you start a weight loss program or a fitness plan, people fail because they try and do everything at once. You need to start with that one thing. For Dorian, it was his diet. He did that for a month. After a month, what he did next was he dusted off his treadmill and he started walking. At first I was doing maybe 15 minutes, but as I built up more endurance, I got stronger and minutes turned into miles and walking turned into running, which is so incredible. I now do about 20 miles a week, which is nuts, right? 20 miles, that is a long time. That is incredible. Great job. You stressed that I do my cardio fasted, so I make sure that I do that on the days that I run. Fasting cardio, empty stomach, first thing in the morning is the #1 best thing you can do or anybody can do in order to really dive and attack those fat stores. You know, your body is as empty as it's going to be right then. If you get into cardio, maintain your target heart rate, which is 220 minus your age. There's a link down below to a video where I help you basically determine what your target heart rate is and why it's so important. If you do your cardio first thing on an empty stomach in that zone, you go right to the fat in order to keep you going. That's what your body uses as the energy stores and source to keep you moving. Later in the day, after you've been eating calories, you start using the calories first before you actually get into the fat stores. So most productive time, first thing in the morning. So the first 100 pounds came off super quick, and they normally do. Then you got to keep modifying and changing things in order to keep yourself progressing. Like I said, all the details are going to be down in the description of Dorian's story, but I wanted to just wrap things up and finish off with what he's saying here. As far as my biggest challenge, I'd have to say that it's myself. The physical part of losing weight, like running and eating, is simple. It's the mental part that's really hard. I'd like to finish up with something that Dorian says here. He says, I realize I can never go back to the way that I was, and I have to keep pushing forward. The rest of the email, like I said, is down in the description, but that's true. And I think that that's also one of the scary things for a lot of people when they decide to start a fitness program or they decide to actually lose weight, is that it's not something that you just do for a little bit. It is something that once you do what you need to do in order to get where you want to get, you got to keep it going. The good news is that it's easier to maintain because you've developed new habits and you have a new lifestyle skill set, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. You're developing a skill. Eating better, doing your cardio, developing new habits. This is not something that's easy. It's incredibly difficult to do. But once you do it for a while, it does become easier. It becomes part of your routine. It's not going to happen overnight, and it definitely didn't happen overnight for Dorian, but the small little changes add up to 152 fucking pounds. It just is so incredible that he could do that. It's just, you know, so many people use the excuse, you know, like, oh, you know, they got 10 pounds that they're bitching about, or I can't, and they fall off the 152 pounds. If you decide you want to do something, make absolutely no mistake, there is nobody that can talk you out of it other than you. Today, Dorian inspires me, and I know that I'm not alone. Guys, you can do anything you set your mind to, and Dorian is just really a testament to that. Eating is, and here's the other thing that's so incredibly difficult about diet, fitness, losing weight, is that it's an addiction. You know, a lot of people are addicted to bad foods and eating a certain way and living a certain lifestyle. And with food, it's not like drugs or alcohol. You don't need it to, you don't need drugs or alcohol to survive and maintain existence. You can just cut it out and quit. Food, you can't. You've got to basically train yourself and condition yourself to make smarter choices. I'm going to leave you with a very profound quote by either Jenny Craig. I heard it on some like infomercial or I'm a sucker for fitness and weight loss infomercials, for the record. It's one of my guilty pleasures. I will watch them, like the whole thing. I'm like, my wife will come in the room and be like, why are you watching this? I'm like, I don't know. I love infomercials. I'm fascinated by them. The selling techniques they use, mind-blowing, revolutionary actually. This took a hard left turn into weird. Gentlemen, the saying goes something like this, and I may butcher it. Nothing tastes as good as looking good feels. Huh? Huh? Dorian understands. Do you?